Five Nights at Freddy's is a video game that needs no introduction. This horror series is well known throughout the world by now. With 13 games, 14 books, and more on the way, and more merch than you can count, it's hard to go into a big store out there without running into this series. With the most recent addition to the FNaF universe, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, being one of the rockier launches the game has seen, I'm here to answer the roughly 2-week-old question, can you beat Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach without being stopped by bugs? Now, before I go into this, I just want to make it clear. I love this franchise. Nothing in this video is to say the game is bad by any means. It has its bugs, and the developers know, and I'm sure they'll fix them. With that out of the way, what are the rules for this challenge? Pretty simple. If I run into a game-halting bug, I have to reset to the beginning of the hour I'm currently in. Visual bugs and lags don't count, only something that stops me from progressing with no fix in sight. Let's see how it went. The game started out as usual. Freddy crashed down after a performance and Gregory climbed inside. Inside Freddy's green room, Freddy discovered me inside his cake hatch. I got out and told Freddy I was scared of Vanessa and thought she was after me. Freddy gave me my very own Faz watch so we could communicate quietly. I crawled through some vents where I learned of Roxy's love for herself, Monty's anger issues, and Chica's commitment to the band. I made my way to the photo pass and let Freddy out of his room. He took me through the utility tunnels to get to the main exit. On the way, Freddy thought I was hurt, so he rushed me to a first aid station where we met Vanessa properly for the first time. She told Freddy she was looking for me, and Freddy said he hadn't seen me. We kept going, and Freddy ran out of power and needed to recharge. He got into his charging station, and I was on my own. In the next room, I met the first threat of the game, Chica. I had to distract her with the stack of cans nearby and sneak around her. I distracted her, but didn't press the crouch button, so I immediately got caught by her. When I respawned, Freddy wasn't in his charging station anymore, but he still wouldn't help me, so I moved on. I successfully got past Chica this time and quickly met Monty and Roxy as well as they all chased me up some stairs to a security office. In the office, I became more fascinated with a floating cup than I probably should have. Freddy gave me access to the security cameras and I had to again dodge Chica as I made my way to the main exit just as 12 o'clock hit and the doors locked closed. I got the complimentary entry pass and needed to upgrade it. To do so, I dodged Chica for a bit and got a mystery prize. I was so excited, hoping for some way to fight back against the animatronics. What I got gave me no joy, only sadness. It was a Mr. Hippo fridge magnet. Disappointed, I took it to the upgrade machine. I used my entry pass, and the machine ate it. I used the magnet, and the machine turned my pass into a daycare pass. I took my pass, went to the daycare, and discovered where the true game began. I met the daycare attendant, Son. He was very excited to see me after hours. He was hopeful for a sleepover, and started laying out the rules. Number 1 being to keep the lights on. He wouldn't let me leave his sight, but luckily for me, he's a clean freak. There were toys nearby I could knock over to distract him, so I could run around. I distracted him to get a better idea of where the generators were. When I had my game plan, I went back to him. I then noticed he was stuck on some barrels, and got a bit too close to him, and he grabbed me. He couldn't move, and he wouldn't put me down, so we were at a standoff. This was the first time I got soft-locked. I reset to 12 o'clock and did the entry pass upgrade again. I got back to the daycare, and this time I got the flashlight, and when I grabbed the security badge, the light turned off. This is where I met Moon, the daycare attendant's less friendly other half. He doesn't like children around after hours and wanted to punish me. I had to activate 5 generators around the play area to get the lights back on. I got 4 of the 5 generators on my first try, and then Moon decided he wanted to spend more time with me.
Oh my god.
I got all 5 on the second try. This time Moon didn't graze me with his teleporting presence. I then spent 5 minutes looking for one upgrade for the flashlight. I found it on top of a tower, and Son kicked me out for breaking the rules. He alerted the others, and out of nowhere, Chica, Roxy, and Monty were there. I climbed in Freddy to hide, and spent a while getting prizes from around the area. When I got to the second level, it started turning to 1 o'clock. Every hour, on the hour, the power in the building reroutes to the charging stations. When this happens, Moon is free to roam the building and come straight for me. If we don't get to a recharge station, I get caught, and Freddy misses the hourly recharge and won't have power. I had to get Freddy to a recharge station before he missed the recharge. While in the station, we see Vanny for the first time. And by we, I mean I did, because Freddy thought she was the fountain. Vanny is a killer lady dressed in a bunny costume who wants Gregory pretty badly. And with that, we made it to 1 o'clock. I moved on to the atrium where Matt Bot very calmly asked if we would like to have a map.
Hi, please take this map.
I had 2 options, go to the loading docks exit in the lower levels or the fire exit on the 3rd floor. I decided to go for the fire exit because I had gone to the loading docks on my first playthrough of the game. To get to the fire exit, I made my way through El Chips and the arcade next to it. On the other side of the arcade was a vent that led to the security office. In the vent, I met the wind-up nightmare himself, Music Man. I made it to the office where I survived an attack from Monty and Roxy. I got the level 2 security badge, and next I needed to get to the fire exit through the prize corner. I died more than I should have just trying to get to the fire exit. But eventually made it through. The fire exit was reserved for VIP members only. Freddy had lied to me for the first time in this run, but certainly not the last. He told me to get to the elevator, so to the elevator I went, where Vanessa caught me. She locked me in the Lost and Found, where Vanny tried to get to me. Luckily, there was a convenient screwdriver inside of a prize box for me to use to escape through a vent. I ran through the vents and back to the atrium to find Freddy. He told me to go to Roxy Raceway. I made my way over and did some epic parkour over some boxes Freddy left for me. I found him not looking so hot. He asked me to help him get to parts and services. The only way he knew to get there was through the stage lift, which I would need a backstage pass to turn on. And not to call Freddy out, but there are actually elevators right behind each of the animatronic green rooms on Rockstar Row that lead straight to parts and services. I don't know how he forgot about it, but he didn't mention it to me. I dodged Roxy a few times to get to the rehearsal room where I found the backstage pass and made my way backstage where Monty and Roxy tried to get me again. This time, they were assisted by Vanny. Freddy was my only hope. I already knew I was doomed, but I humored the bear anyways. I just had to watch the cameras for Freddy. When I saw him, I pressed the button in front of the screen, I saw him in, and it opens the door to get him closer. While helping Freddy, I have to watch the 4 doors leading to the room I was in. Roxy could come to one of the 2 doors, and Monty the other 2. If I saw them in front of the door, I'd press a button on my side of the door, and it zapped them. I led Freddy all the way to me, and he completely abandoned me. He was supposed to open the vent on the floor and catch me, but he never opened the vent to let me fall through. I knew I couldn't trust him, and yet I did, and as a result, Monty got me. I respawned and made the biggest mistake of the run. Turned off the dialogue volume. I did this to skip a few cutscenes. What happened to my game was worse than I thought it could possibly be. When I got backstage again, Monty and Roxy weren't there to attack me. My only salvation from Freddy was gone, as I feared Vanny would leave me as well. I led Freddy back to me, and this time he actually saved me. We made our way to the main stage, and this is where the true game began. I had to take a performance disc up to the 3rd floor sound booth to play it so the stage lift would activate. I think turning off the dialogue affects a few things in the game, because when I climbed to the 3rd floor for the first time, there weren't any animatronics aside from the staff bots. I got to the 3rd floor and played the disc. Vanny began chasing me. I tried doing a speedrun skip by jumping over this railing, but failed miserably, so ran down the stairs like a peasant. The animatronics were back on the way down. I made it almost all the way to the stage until a staff bot caught me, and Chica took it as an opportunity to spawn on top of me and get me. I made my way back up. This time the animatronics were all accounted for. I ran from them and got a rather unfortunate save spot on the 2nd floor. I then struggled for 15 minutes on this part. Along the way, I got an up-close look at Chica, who was clearly excited to see me. I finally made it back to the stage and took Freddy down to parts and services just as 3 o'clock hit. I made it into a recharge station, and Freddy was dragged away by Moon, never to be seen again, and I moved on, never looking back. I made my way through a backstage area where endoskeletons are trained on what to do for the rest of their lives. When I look at endoskeletons, they can't move, and when I look away, they book it straight for me. I made my way all the way through to the security office, got the badge, and escaped back to parts and services. Vanessa was there, threatening Freddy about helping me. She left through the Rockstar Row elevators, and I came into parts and services, where I found Freddy with his head disconnected from the rest of him. I upgraded Freddy's power, which didn't seem to really change anything about him. Freddy told me I could find party passes inside Chica's green room. With one of those passes, I could get into either Phaser Blast or Monty Golf to find a way to decommission Chica or Monty. I took the elevator to Roxy's room and snuck past her and into Chica's room for the party pass. Then the lights went out because 4 o'clock was coming. I rushed to a recharge station, and just like that, it was 4 o'clock already. I went to Monty Golf because I've done Phaser Blast on my first playthrough. I used the party pass to get in. I was absolutely amazed at how good this area of the game looked. I was so excited to play Monty Golf, and I was unbelievably disappointed when there was no way to play the course. With my head hung low, I went to the office and got the badge and the Phazcam, but completely ignored the mazer-sized pass on accident. The Phazcam will blind anyone in front of me when I use it, animatronic or otherwise. The only one it won't work on is Monty, because he has sunglasses. I then stumbled around for 4 minutes before going back for the ticket that was right in front of me in the office. Monty pulled a magic trick and appeared right in front of me. With my Mazer-size ticket in hand, I made my way up to the Mazer-size room. I made it just outside of Mazer-size when Roxy got me. I tried again, and this time I made it into the Mazer-size, and found out I had to go all the way down to the daycare theater to get a control key to rearrange the maze. I got the maze control key, made it back to the maze control room, where I spent 15 minutes trying to get the maze the right way before finding the right combination. I made it through the maze to the Monty Golf catwalks and to Mr. Gator himself. This was my first boss fight, and I was ready. I ran around the catwalks, filling the big splash bucket, and dumped it on to Monty. He fell from the catwalks, hitting plenty of crossbeams on his way down until he was completely destroyed. I went down to his robot corpse and took his hands for Freddy. I then found an arcade machine that allowed me to play mini-golf. I played mini-golf and got the unbeatable high score of 31. I went back to parts and services where I upgraded Freddy's hands so he could rip apart gates like no other. We then made it to 5 o'clock, where the true game began. I started the hour by going to Roxy Raceway, where I found shoes in the back of her salon that made me faster than I ever thought possible. I found a replacement head for my go-kart driver, who I needed to repair to use the go-kart because I was not tall enough to ride alone. I had to fix the head first, and to do that, I needed to take it to the West Arcade security office. To get to the West Arcade, I needed a dance pass. I found one in the party garages. I then made my way to Fazcade, where I could get to the office and repair the head. I beelined it for the office. Before I could repair the head, the security system realized I was there and locked down the arcade. To gain access to the repair machine, I had to reset the circuit breakers around the arcade. 5 in total, all while Chica and DJ Music Man were chasing me. After hitting all of them, DJ Music Man chased me down the long back hallway and back to the office. I was safe and ready to repair the head. I tried and nothing worked. It turned out that after the last circuit breaker, it didn't update my objective and softlocked me. I tried resetting by having Chica get me, but it didn't work. I was then forced to reset to 5 o'clock, where the true game began. This time I got the 3 Fizzy Faz cans I could get to in order to increase my stamina to run longer. One was in the security room next to where I got the Mr. Hippo magnet. Another was in Roxy's Raceway, and the last was in El Chip's restaurant, that I looked right at when I was here the first time, but didn't see it. I got the shoes again to run faster. I then got the dance pass, then the head, and made it back to Fazcade, ready to win this time. I went to the office and began the lockdown. I hit all the switches, and this time the objective updated. I had done it. I went to fix the head, only to find out I didn't have it. I went back to Roxy Raceway and got the head for the 3rd time. I went back to the Fazcade office, where it entered lockdown again, but this time I couldn't flip any switches. I was soft locked for the 3rd time. So I reset back to 5 o'clock again. Determined, I got the shoes, the Fizzy Faz, the head, and the dance pass. I went to the Fazcade office, began the lockdown. I flipped all the switches again. I ran from DJ Music Man again. I got back to the office again, and I was missing the head again. I ran all the way back, got the head for the 4th time. I tried the lockdown again, flipped all the switches, but again, I was missing the head. Out of options, I called it here. So I learned that no, you cannot beat Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach without being stopped by bugs. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, leave a like. If you didn't, smash the dislike. Not like anyone else will see it. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.